Going live here. We are W.A.R. We are resilient. I'm Mike Geary, Hellfish Haven, here with Travis of Oscar Mike Radio. And this week we are joined with a guest, DAV Chapter 25 Commander Patrick here. He's a Navy fellow. Don't hold it against him.
That's right. Congratulations on the win, but yeah, there's always next year.
Absolutely. And we'll be here with our guest probably. Travis, how do I get the chat pop up on the side on the right?
Let's
Is
see
it just
here.
The second one? The
There
overlay?
should be a chat message on the upper right-hand corner.
Yep.
Little options there. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right. I like to hear from the people when we're doing this. It's nice to be able to see it. And so, Patrick, you're here as a two-person. You're a commander, but you're also a service officer. Is that right?
Correct. So I write claims down at JPVA Hospital, and if needed, I go to West Roxbury and help out over there.
Now, how often do you guys do that? Do you guys do that? Is there somebody from the DAV at the hospitals every day? Is there somebody there once a week?
It's normally 3 days a week right now at West Roxbury. I'm there 2 days a week at JP, and there's another lady that's there on Thursdays at JP. But we're trying to get both hospitals 5 days a week.
Yep.
So
and now,
go ahead. No, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
When you guys cover the hospitals, did you guys go to Brockton as well? Did you guys go to the?
So we have reps at Brockton. We have reps
Mhm.
at all the VA hospitals in Massachusetts right now. And if we don't, let me know, because I was told we did.
All right. Now, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you if they're looking to get in touch with you?
Well, if they can't get a hold, if they don't have my personal number, I can give it to everybody. It's normally in the comments when I tune in to you guys' show. But I'm sure you can do that for me, Mike. And
Yep.
also, you can go to dav.ma.org, and you can find out all the information there about DAV, how to put in a claim. We got a great state department adjutant right now, Mike Valia. He's a young guy like me. Department commander is a Air Force veteran, great guy. Wiser gentleman than myself, but I'm not gonna say older, but I'm gonna just call him wiser.
Now, Patrick, did Stuart want to jump on here with us tonight? Is that why he's in the studio?
Say that again?
Did Stuart want to jump on, or is he just trying to watch?
Oh, I think he's trying to watch.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah, I sent the link. I didn't know if I was supposed to send this link or another link.
So this link that you
everybody
sent
to
is
watch.
going to invite people. This will invite people to the studio to join us.
See, now you tell me.
So
I think I sent it to like 50
I don't want to
other
put him on
people.
camera.
There he is, Mr. Chapman. How's it going?
I'll keep an eye on it. So if I hear a little.
There you go.
All right.
But yeah, if any veteran needs help with claims, the DAV is always here to help them. I mean, we'll go out to them, or they can come to us. We can meet them at their favorite coffee shop, restaurant, whatever. We don't have a problem going out and visit, with the community.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, Patrick, is so I'm working with my VSO, Adam Gunn. He's been, great. He kind of forced me to, hey, we need to update you because it's been too long, and I'm not really happy with what I see here. And I'm like, just leave me alone. He would leave me alone. So we finally did it. And the VA said they didn't have my records.
Yeah.
So I had to go through this long, drawn-out process. I won't bore you with it now. We file the update, and the VA comes back and says, "Oh yeah, we look at that. We got his records.
Yeah,
they're all right here."
Like magic, they just poofed in, right?
Well, what it did is the existing claim is no longer good. Now we have to file an updated secondary claim because the records are there available because of some. I mean, my question is how do you deal with that, and how do you keep because I about told me the other day, I said, you know what, I'm just done with this. This is just a lot of hassle. How do you keep veterans engaged throughout this process, man?
So you got to kind of bring them back to earth. You know, a lot of veterans think they're going to get 100% right away, and they get discouraged when they get 10% or they get 20%. And like lately, we've been seeing vets come in from 10% getting 70%, and they're happier than anything. But when you get a vet that comes in like that, there's a year from the time you put your initial claim in till your claim expires in 1 year. So after 1 year, you don't hear anything or nothing goes on. Your claim doesn't get an increase. You need to go back, talk to either your VA, DAV, or your service officer and say, "Hey, listen, what's going on? Where can we get into this?" And they'll say, "All right, well, how long has it been? If it's been over 364, 65 days, they tell you, all right, you need to go ahead and write up another claim." But you just gotta stay focused on that stuff, because a lot of these people come in and they're hossing, he and hawing, talking about, well, the DAV promised me this and promised me that. We don't promise anything. You're not gonna get an answer from me saying, "Oh, I'm gonna get you 100% tomorrow," because it's not gonna happen. I mean, we don't make that promise. We're the middleman for the DAV, so it goes from us to veteran benefits. So the guys at JFK and Boston or whatever state you're in handle all that. That's on them. Once it comes from us, it's like the God's ears, because we have no control over it. We can help out and, like, hey, make phone calls and say, "Hey, how Travis so and so wants to find out what's going on." We can call and say that, but other than that, they'll tell us, "Hey, I'm working on it," or they don't. If they're not in the case right away, they don't really know anything. So, I mean, it's a hurry up and wait game, kind of, sort of too.
Yeah, well, I just feel bad for like the Korean War and Vietnam era guys who are still navigating the system, getting anything done.
So them guys are getting on the express line.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it doesn't only go by the age, but it also goes by like your era. So like we had a guy 91 years old come in about 3 months ago, and I think he's at 80% right now. So I mean, they look at different situations. Like if there's a veteran I know that's got stage 4 cancer. They put him on fast track to get his benefits, for a little time he's got left.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely a waiting game for us younger guys. If we don't have any major symptoms, or dying tomorrow, whatever. Yeah, it's a little bit of a waiting game, but it's not that long. Trust me.
Well, I just, it's been a learning experience. It's been a humbling experience. It's been, I got to tell you, like I said, no records. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. The Marine Corps didn't have my records. The archive didn't have my records. And the VA said they didn't have my records from 1999, 2000.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we got records. We got records.
So you got to remember, everything's in a computer these days now. It's not in a big file cabinet in the back of Highway 90 somewhere. They can go pull out. So what they do is they tap in your name, and if that computer glitches at that point, then who the hell's Travis?
It's just been interesting.
It's true.
So, it's been a learning experience. Speaking of that, you're with the DAV, and people don't understand. Like when I walk into the Brockton VA and see the DAV office there, are you? What's your relationship with the VA? People don't understand that.
Our relationship with the VA is they give us an office where we can help veterans with claims, get them their benefits, and the treatment that they need. So we work hand in hand with the VA, even though we're not connected. So we're two different organizations altogether. So once you come to us, we get you in the system, get your record, get your benefits started, or at least get you on the way to getting your benefits started. And then if you've never been to the VA before, we literally hand walk you to eligibility, so you can get your ID card and possibly get enrolled into VA healthcare.
Well, I think
And now the big thing this year has been the PACT Act.
Yes. So we have the PACT Act is crazy because a lot of people don't know about it. And like I've been beating about this since January 1st. We've been having, I think me and Stan Pratt from Boston chapter have done 12 PACT Act socials in West Roxbury alone. And like we're looking for other places to go. Like other DAVs are reaching out to us, and other parts of the states are saying, "Hey, how can we get you to come out here to us?" And every DAV officer or service officer should know how to explain the PACT Act. And the PACT Act is the promise to address Comprehensive Toxic Act of 2022. It started August 10th of 2022, but it really didn't go in effect till January 1st is when everybody started talking about it. And it's for all your veterans exposed to burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic substances. And there's a lot of presumptive uh, cases in there as well. So if you don't know about it, look it up, contact somebody, contact me. I'll be more than happy to sit down with anybody and tell them all about it. Because if you don't put in a claim today, you're not just hurting you, you're hurting a veteran that's before you and then after you. Because Congress sees these numbers, and if they don't see the money and the funds being used to what they're allotted for, they start pulling pennies and then dollars and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. You're not only your pride's not hurting you, but it's hurting everybody in between and after you.
So one thing that I've ran into, Patrick,
Yeah.
I'll be with a group of veterans, and it's like, well, hey, man, you weren't a combat veteran, you never deployed. It's a-holes like you,
No.
Clogging up the system, taking away from all of us. You don't rate that anyway.
No. It doesn't matter if you've deployed, if you were boots on the ground, if you were boots on a ship, if you were boots at Hampton Air Force Base. There's all kind of different situations where you've been exposed to toxic chemicals. You probably cleaned something with some kind of toxin. Your MOS was a hazard duty, toxin.
Even just
Different
fueling a
things like
Humvee.
exactly. I deployed. I know Mike deployed, and Travis, we'd have loved to have you deploy with us, but you said you didn't deploy. So I mean,
I didn't.
all these veterans that never deployed, hey, you're still a brother or sister. We'll be happy to put in a claim for you. Whatever we can get you, we will. MOS is down here at Hampton Air Force Base qualify for PACT Act, hearing, vision, different stuff like that.
It looks like Steven's already been denied. Oh, that's no good, Steven.
Yeah, Steven, get in touch
Patrick,
with
and he can help you with the appeal.
if you're local, get in touch with me. If not, get in touch with your local DAV guy. I mean, I'll be happy to help you with your claim, but I'm here in Mass, so if you need help, let me know.
Steven's out of New York. He does that comic book.
Tales of
That is
Nihilism.
really cool. Tales of Nihilism.
Okay.
Just was at a comic book convention up here in Mass. Met him this summer. Really talented guy. But yeah, we're just getting some really good knowledge from you tonight, Patrick. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah. I'm
Now,
glad. I'm
Patrick,
glad to be
what's the
here
difference
because a lot
between?
of veterans let pride get in their way. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Yep, no worries. There, when people have the claim and then when the claim goes permanent, like, can you explain that one? Because I know that's the biggest question that people claim: temporary, a permanent claim. What's the difference between the two?
So the only difference is I've seen in my time that if a veteran gets better some kind of way, or if they go in for a re-eval, and supposedly the problem that they're getting the money for is better, the VA may possibly take it away from them, or decrease their percentage. And if they go in for a re-eval, say, all right, I just got 90%, and I'm
Okay.
a boss. I'm a fireman or a cop, and I want to make sure I get 100%, just in case something happens. Because at 100%, my wife can get Champ VA. My kids are covered until they're 18 or whatever. Uh, and I want to push the issue and go open my claim up with, I'll say Stan Pratt, for example, at West Roxbury, VA. And he's like, okay, well, when did you get your 90%? Well, I got my 90% 3 months ago. And if I know Stan, he's going to tell you the same thing I'm going to tell you. Wait at least 5 years, because if not, they're going to go over your claim, your whole service record, with a fine tooth comb. And they're going to find a way to take that 90% and bring it to 80 or 50%. There's a certain amount of time that if your claim's at 90% and you don't raise the roof about asking for the extra 10%, that they can't take it. I'm not sure on that answer, but I'll definitely, if you guys want, I'll get that answer for you. But I mean, if you're
Yeah,
at
we'll
90%,
definitely share it next week with folks.
yeah, if you're at 90%, wait, give it the time. If you're at 80%, you're not dying tomorrow, wait, because the VA will love to help you, and they'll love to take it away from you at the same time. You know, they say God giveth, God take it away.
Well, I waited like 22 years before I
Yeah.
went back.
I'd say the normal reeval time, Travis, is about 5 years. If
Yeah.
you haven't if you haven't heard something from the VA in 5 years, I'd go check it out and say, hey, listen, now I've got a problem. You know, I've got a bad right knee. So I went and I talked to them about my left knee. I got 10% right off the bat because it was secondary. You know, there's a lot of secondary claims out there that you can get. You know, if you got a right foot that's bad, well, your left foot's going to be bad too. So, you know, it's going to have some kind of. Now the VA owns my right knee and they own my left knee. If anything happens
So
to that, the VA will take care of it.
can you explain that, the secondary claim,
Yeah. So,
like if I break my
like,
arm, my shoulder starts hurting after a while. Like,
yeah.
is that what you mean?
So, like, my right knee, I had surgery on my right knee while I was in the service. 20
Okay.
years later, I'm starting to have problems with before that, but I'm starting to have problems with my left knee. So I went in for a reval. They said, okay, because of your injury in '04 to your right knee, it's probably done some damage to your left knee, your back, you know, certain places like that. Let's put in a claim for it. Okay, now you're 10.
Did we lose Patrick?
Oh, he was just getting to the good stuff.
He was. So, well, I know with the secondary stuff, it's basically, you know, say you break your ankle, and then from walking around and having a broken ankle, all of a sudden you can't, your knee starts giving way. And like with me, for my back, my L5S1 disc was taken out. So because of that, the pressure on the discs above and disc below start wearing and tearing. So just because I injured the L5S1 disc while I was in the service, that's covered. But then a secondary claim I could put in would be the uh, claim for, above the L5S1 or below the L5S1, and I would be able to, if Patrick coming back, I would be able to claim it and be able to get the the approval as a secondary claim because my L5S1 was in the service, and then the discs above or the discs below were aggravated from the injury itself, which would be a secondary claim.
Correct. Oh, this phone is killing me tonight.
No, we can't see you. We got you. There we go.
Yeah. There I am. But yeah, so like I've got back problems too, Mike. So they're looking into that. But right now the left knee is covered because the right knee was service connected. So I get 10% for the left knee, but they own that. So anything that happens to that, it's on the VA. I don't have to go to my outside doctor and say, hey, listen, I got a knee issue. How can you help me? No, I go right to the VA and they say, all right, what do you need? And I tell you,
hey, Steve,
the VA is one of the, I used to never swear by the VA. And now I am all over the VA because, it's one of the best things. I go see Dr. Kenneth Kramer down at JP, and it's one of the best doctors I've had in years. I still use a PCP outside, but I go see this guy and he takes care of me. I tell him my back hurts. He's like, listen, what do you need? You need some Tylenol or something like that, or you need pain patches, or you need an ice pack. You know, the VA has changed since the guys that got out from Vietnam back in the 60s, 70s, and, back in the late 70s, that they were coming back and they the VA kind of, did them the wrong. But now they're out and about. They're like top notch medical service. I don't have any issues with the VA. I can go to any VA anywhere in the world and get the same care, I'm sure, that I get here in Massachusetts.
Now, can you explain too, like the different types of service officers that are out there, like as far as like national versus local, like
Yeah,
how
so
much?
we have, so starting at the top, we have national service officers, which deal with your claim and send it off to, that magical world where it gets approved or disapproved at, or they need more information. Then you have guys like me, who's a department service officer. Basically, we run the office, and then we have claim service officers that come in and we work with them. They have a desk, we have a desk, and we all do the same thing. But we're all kind of a traveling service agency because we go to anywhere. I know Stan Pratt from West Roxbury. He goes anywhere somebody calls him for. He answers calls at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and because he's like me, he doesn't sleep. And I'll come to. Look, I did a claim for a guy in West Roxbury the other day. He's almost 100 years old, and sorry, I'm getting notes from the kids. they come in with cue cards. Yeah. Yeah. So but yeah, no, we just trained. I was one of the 50 candidates that got the training in October for claim services, and I've been writing claims right along since. And I mean, I think I probably put in like 50 claims since. And I just like helping the guys out. The guys, gals, whenever they come into the office, I like to hear their kind of their war stories, because once you get out, you kind of don't have that much to share with people that don't understand what we're talking about. Like, I speak Louisiana, and then I speak military.
Yeah, that's right. I joined the Marine Corps from Shreveport Bossier.
Yeah. All right. So when I went in, I went to Dauphine Street down in New Orleans, the old city of New Orleans, and that's where our MEP station was at.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I got out up here in Boston, believe it or not, 20 something years ago, and I'm still here. So I guess I'm all right. And it's for good guys like you guys that have these podcasts, that we can learn stuff from. Because I mean, I just started watching you guys like the last 4 or 5 shows, and I got in like a couple times before just to see what it was about when Travis had just Oscar Mike without W.A.R. And like some of the stuff I was hearing, I was like, wow, really? All this stuff is happening now? And and this is, I tell everybody about, Oscar Mike, or I tell them about Mike's new war and Hellfish Haven. And Mike's actually part of my chapter. Mike's our adjutant and treasurer.
Well, it's just really cool how it works out and how people come together, man. And, it's really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, me and Seknav haven't seen each other in 25 years, and he pulled me out of the audience, him and his wife, the other day at the Army-Navy game, and told a bunch of future Marines and sailors that, hey, this is what you call a real shipmate. After 20 years of not seeing him, he still knows me and stuff like that, So, yeah, that's a friendship that lasts a lifetime.
It really is cool how that works out that way. You know, how it really is lifelong, friendships, and across, doesn't matter what service you're in.
Yeah.
So
But
what's next for 2024 in DAV?
we're having midwinter up in DC where we go and talk about legislation and listen to the legislation that's been passed for veterans. And then we go to we have our state convention up in June, and then the national convention, I believe, is the last week of August. It's in Arizona this year, I believe. And if anybody wants to go, all they need to do is really join the DAV.
I'm a lifetime member.
Well, hey, you're free to, if you want to go, get you a ticket and go up there and see what it's all about, Travis. Because, I mean, you'll learn a lot of good stuff. You'll meet a lot of good people, probably people that'll be there. Because, I mean, there's a lot of, like, big shots that go to these things. A lot of, we're starting to see some Space Force people going, so it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm waiting for the Star Trek Enterprise to show up, but,
No problem. We can definitely talk about that, man. 2024, a lot of good stuff going on.
But I just got a text. If y'all don't mind, let me throw this plug out.
All right.
DAV is looking for drivers. So if anybody wants to volunteer to be a driver, go to davma.org. Check it out, because we're giving all these heroes that can't drive themselves to and from medical appointments, outside VA appointments, inside VA appointments. We need the drivers. Phil is out of the western part of the state. He's the new HSC for drivers. He's begging for drivers. South Shore, North Shore, Western Mass, anywhere you want to volunteer at, he can use you.
Hey, man, that's really needed, because I know when I got hurt, I needed a ride to the VA because I couldn't drive, and the VA has transportation there, but they're like, "Hey, sorry, it's a 6-week waiting list."
No.
And it was really stressful trying to make sure I could get there.
Yeah, now normally if you give us at least a week's notice, we can get you a ride. There's drivers all over the place looking to come out and pick up veterans, because I would do it, but I don't have the patience of God gave a flea to drive somebody else in my car. I don't know what it is, but I barely want to drive my kids in my car, let alone.
You got Craig asking a question here. Patrick, does the vet in need of transportation need to be a DAV member?
No, he needs to be a service member. So a veteran, any veteran, and you don't have to be a veteran or a DAV member to be a driver. We take anybody and everybody, as long as they pass the little 1-day training or 2-day training, whatever it is these days now. We get them to pass the background check, and once that's done, they're good to go. But that's another thing you can look on www.davma.org and find out answers to. But Craig, no, you don't have to be a DAV member. All you have to be is a veteran. We'll come pick you up. Call. So Craig, call. Go to dav.ma.org. I'm sorry, davma.org, and look up transportation. They'll come. I used to have the number on me. I don't have it. I apologize. But if you send me an email or send me a text later, or Mike, can you get Craig's information, and I can get him a shout out later with the information?
You got it. I got Craig's number saved, so I'll get it over to you.
Okay, sweet.
Hey Patrick, if you just message me your email, I'll put you in contact with Stephen Russell in New York, just to figure out where to go.
So I can give you my email anytime. My phone number, I give my phone number out like I give out business cards. 857-719-7398. 857-719-7398 is my phone number. Patrick7398 at iCloud is my email address.
That's 857-719-7398.
Correct. Mike's got all my contact info. Mike, feel free to share it with anybody that needs it. I'm not
for a good
picky.
time call.
Yeah, if I find my number in a bathroom on a wall somewhere, we got a problem, Michael. But no, serious guys, if you guys need any help, call me, email me, contact davma.org. We'll be glad to have you. We'll be glad to answer any questions you have. Like I said, there's a bunch of young guys out there now too, in the State Department. So a lot of wiser people still there, but we're getting the young kids in. And if anybody wants to join, you can go to their website as well and join the VA, the DAV. And if you join before January 31st, it's still only $300. You join after, it's $325 for a life member. But that's it. You never pay again after you pay your $325 or $300.
I mean, I paid more than that.
Now, what about the auxiliary?
Auxiliary, we have the auxiliary up and running. That's for any spouse, kid, non-spouse. I mean, anybody can join the auxiliary. All they have to do is be somehow connected to a veteran. I'm not sure the fees of that, but it's on that website. My wife, my two kids love it because they get do the parades with me. We just did the Plymouth Day parade. Last year we did the St. Patty's South Boston parade. So kids, it's good to see kids doing something other than sitting on their phones all the time.
Now, coming up next, we also have Oscar Mike Radio is going to be chatting with Wreaths of America.
Oh yeah, I'll go into that. So Oscar Mike Radio, Oscar Mike Radio. Me, I am part of Wreaths Across America Radio, and Jeff Pierce, who heads up that, connected me with Karen Worcester from Cumberland Falls, Maine, and she is the co-founder and executive director of Wreaths Across America. Coming on to tell me, what this is all about, what goes on with it, all the wreaths they get out every year from Maine. It's pretty amazing. It's a great conversation. I mean, a civilian woman who, her and her husband never served, got compelled to do something for people who, passed on. It's really amazing.
Yeah. That's a great thing because they go all over the country doing that stuff. We had a DAV member of New Hampshire, and she's actually a driver for Walmart, and she's one of the lucky truck drivers to be carrying wreaths from Maine to Arlington National Cemetery. And she's a Navy vet, so even better.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's going to be quite an honor to be able to bring those down there.
Yeah, they get a nice little pin and stuff like that, saying they were a wreath carrier and stuff like that. But I think she's carrying 300,000 or something to Arlington National.
It really does just look amazing too when you get the picture of it, and sometimes when the snow falls on it, what a beautiful sight. It really does do wonders for our men and women that give the ultimate sacrifice.
That's right. But I'm glad I went before your show tonight, Travis, because I would not want to follow Wreaths Across America because just following anybody is hard enough, but especially them people.
Well, it's a great organization. I think, like you said, there's something for everybody to do, and people are wanting to help out this time of year, and it's just nice to know that there is that organization like DAV there, who is there to help out veterans for no charge. That's what I want to close with because I got to run here in a second. Is Patrick? There's so many orgs out there that will say, hey, you know what, we'll help you out, but you've got to give us a cut of your benefit check.
We don't ask for anything. We do it free of hand to any veteran, whether they're DAV member, VFW member, American Legion, MVets. We help everybody. Anybody that raised their right hand, took the oath, stepped on the yellow footprints, did any of that stuff, we freely help them out. 100% free of charge. If they want to make a donation in the end, that's totally up to them. That's not something that's warranted from them or anything. We let them choose to do whatever they want to do with their money.
Fantastic.
It's a million members strong, and it just keeps going. As long as young folks join back up, and if DAV's done something for you, think about helping out the DAV and joining as a member too, if you can.
Yeah, because we've been around for over 100 years now, and this was actually started by a lawyer after he got home from war, who actually became a judge, Judge Marks, and there's a lot of organizations tried to disband the DAV, but we're still going strong.
Fantastic. Well, Patrick, I want to say thank you for coming on. Mike, just love the direction of WAR and where it's going. We've been doing this for almost a year now, and it just keeps getting better and better, man.
Yeah, great.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, Mike, and thanks for having me, guys.
Thank everybody for joining us tonight and for WAR. Jose's here to say his goodbyes and see if I've got any snacks over here for him. And I just want to thank everybody and tune in for Oscar Mike Radio for the Reese Cross America tonight at 8 o'clock. All right, everybody, have a great night.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Good stuff. Thanks, guys. All right, cool.
And again, good night, everybody.